All right, here we go again. It's funny how the dog the bounty hunter breakdown I did with his grandson getting accidentally shot. It's funny how they unleash all the bots into the comments. It's like, okay, one out of every 25, 30 videos, they allow more views, and it's like not even real people. It's just they pump up the view total, and then they unleash bots all over the comments. Back in the early internet days, or I guess I don't know, or you could say YouTube days or whatever, they would say that was online bullying. It's just bots, because if you're not mature enough to understand, then you get that hurts your feelings, right? That hurts your feelings, like, oh, the whole thing is there to try to get you to stop doing what you're doing, right? It's like, oh, we'll get all these bots, let's see how they can handle this, and it's all these negative comments, like, it's like, did you watch the video, bot? You're telling me you didn't understand? I didn't do it simple enough, right? They're just like, prove it. And it's like, did you watch the video? Anyways, shout out to YouTube for pumping up the number of views on the Dog the Bounty Hunter video. I'm mature enough. I can handle the bot comments. You know what I mean? In a fake world, right? So, look, it hits again. There's been a color theme and like a race theme going on. It's some kind of pattern that just hits. Now, it's not some kind of pattern where I can tell you when it's going to hit every year. But when it hits, I see through it. And here we go again, right? Prominent Miami defense attorney Roy Black dies. They say he represented a guy named William Kennedy Smith in a R trial. As you see right there, the letter R trial, right? Here's William Kennedy Smith. I guess he's related to the Kennedys. American physician and a member of the Kennedy family who founded an organization focused on landmines and the rehabilitation of landmine victims. He is known for being charged with the letter R word in a nationally publicized 1991 trial that ended with his acquittal. Okay, here's some images on the character, I guess, right here. Right. So, but this is the main character here in this story with the RIP. Was an American civil and criminal defense. That's interesting. Civil kind of makes you think of civil rights, right? With what we're about to talk about here coming up, uh, American civil and criminal defense trial attorney and founding partner of Black Srebnick. He was a member of the Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame, right? So let's go over here, and I think I have a video we're going to play, and then I'm going to show you connections that are very obvious, okay?
Tonight, South Florida is remembering a local legend. Renowned criminal defense lawyer Roy Black has died.
Black built a reputation of representing high-profile, sometimes controversial clients, from Jeffrey Epstein to Justin Bieber. Local 10's Christian Del Rosa live now with a look back at his legacy.
They say he represented it. Epstein and Bieber. Remember, Bieber just had an album drop. Epstein's been trending. His death date anniversary is right around the corner.
And the mark that Roy Black left on the legal community. Christian.
A long list of very notable and, as you said, at times controversial clients. Talk about someone being so relevant, not just here in Miami, certainly in Miami's legal world, but what many people may have not known is also just how relevant he was here at the University of Miami. He was already a legend in life.
He was such a pillar.
South Florida attorney Roy Black dead at 80. Loved ones saying he passed away at his Coral Gables home Monday after battling an illness while still working at his law firm on South Biscayne Boulevard.
He was the heart and soul and the brains of trial lawyers in South Florida.
Among the renowned attorney's most notable clients, Jeffrey Epstein, William Kennedy Smith, Rush Limbaugh, and Justin Bieber, garnering him celebrity status.
He was not arrogant, though. He was personable, and he was real, and he was approachable.
Attorney and Roy Black fan Todd Michaels.
I think that he had a very unique intellect. Worked harder than anybody, really cared about the craft.
Black was born in New York and grew up in Connecticut, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. He was a UM Law graduate and spent a lifetime teaching at his alma mater.
Over 50 years, every fall, teaching criminal evidence to our students. And he was scheduled to start teaching in August.
Patricia Sanchez-Abril is UM Law School interim dean.
It shows what kind of man he was, and it shows what his commitment really to the law and to making the profession better.
Roy Black was also married to reality TV star Leah Black. The interim dean of the law school here at UM compared being a student of Roy.
Okay, so they said he's married to a reality star named Leah Black, and they also say he represented celebrities. They say he represented Bieber and Epstein, I think they said. This character's on his wife here. Was she on the Real Housewives of something? Maybe. Let's see. I think this might be it. Real Housewives of Miami. They have that right there on her page. Okay, we get a birthday with her as well, April 23rd. Mother, wife, philanthropist, author, television personality, political activist, entrepreneur. All titles that can be claimed by Leah Black, a Texas native who moved to Miami in the late 1980s and quickly rose to the heights of Miami society. Okay, so I'm prepared to give you these connections. Okay, it's not a coincidence. Roy Black dies, and Ozzy Osbourne of Black Sabbath just died as well. Okay, you see that? Black Sabbath. What about Martin Luther King Jr.? He's trending, right? Trump administration releases records on MLK Jr. assassination. Why are they distracting us from that list that they won't release? This is not what we want to see. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're waiting on that Epstein list, right? So, Martin Luther King Jr. is trending. American Baptist minister, civil rights activist, right? And remember Roy Black, civil and criminal defense trial attorney. You see that right there? Black, again, like Black Sabbath, like Martin Luther King Jr. trending. What about Malcolm Jamal Warner trending with his death? Kind of like Malcolm X, right? And remember X, like Twitter. Remember Elmo's X account got hacked, and they said whoever hacked it posted racist and anti-Semitic posts or whatever. Remember that? I covered that as well. So there's even the Trump story urges Washington and Cleveland sports teams to revert to former names, which they say were offensive to Native Americans, right? Okay, the Indians and the Redskins, right? Trump wants these teams to go back to the former names. So all of this race stuff is trending. And don't forget Trump, they like to sync up with a lot of like racist stories or discriminatory stories, however you want to say it. So this is a theme that's been hitting. Don't forget, even Dog the Bounty Hunter is trending. I think I mentioned earlier his grandson getting accidentally shot by Dog's stepson. So would that be like a step grandson? I don't know. But remember Dog the Bounty Hunter, he had racist allegation stories some years back as well. Okay? Even his name Dog, you could speak or maybe refer to somebody as a dog or maybe like a lower being of some sort, right? Which could be like an offensive term depending on, who you say it to, right? So all of this stuff trending. So now back to this guy specifically, Roy Black. Check this out. In Miami, Black was viewed in legal circles as the GOAT. And they're saying he was battling an illness. That's all they said. And he was 80 years old at death, right? So they're saying that he was the GOAT, the greatest of all time, said fellow defense attorney David O. Marcus, okay? Who compared him to NBA Hall of Famer Michael Jordan. He's got the Michael Jordan birthday. Notice how Roy Black was born in 45. Remember, Michael Jordan came out of retirement wearing 45 briefly, and then he went back to 23. Okay? So you're going to tell us that he's the Michael Jordan of defense attorneys. You're not going to tell us that he's got the same birthday as Jordan and he's born in 45 and Jordan had the 45 on his jersey. Didn't Michael Jordan's dad die like 4 weeks and 5 days after his third championship? It was 4 weeks and 5 days, or it was a span of 4 weeks, 5 days, if I remember correctly as well. Ooh. Hold on. And today, on the fly, and today is that death anniversary. As I speak right now, James Jordan's death date. Anniversary. Look at that. Look. Right now, it's July 23rd. Look at that right there. Wow. And you want to know what else I just caught? Look at what else I just caught here. Back over here. Look, they're saying this guy, David O. Marcus, fellow defense attorney, look at this. Compared him to Jordan. Marcus is Michael Jordan's son. There's a Marcus Jordan, which is Michael Jordan's son, right? Come on, man. They just spell it with a C instead of a K. Come on, you can see the script. You can see the script, and that my friend, is on the fly. Look at that. David O. Marcus, fellow defense attorney, compares him to NBA Hall of Famer Michael Jordan. He's got the freaking Michael Jordan birthday. And as I speak right now is James Jordan's death date anniversary. And it's the 32nd anniversary of his death, July 23rd. And he died 8 days before his birthday. And we're about to hit the 8th month, man. Look at that. Now when we go to the date calculator, check this out. So he died 1993, and if I remember correctly, the Bulls won the title. They beat the Suns on 6/20. There it is right there. 4 weeks, 5 days. James Jordan died after his son MJ won his third NBA title, beating the Phoenix Suns. And he's the son to his father, James. And then, his dad, James, dies 4 weeks, 5 days later, which is 33 days. Look at over on the right. And Michael even equals 33. Bulls equals 33. It's the same as 1 month, 3 days. Michael Jordan equals 113, like 13. M is the 13th letter of the alphabet. But there's that 45 right there. Back to the 45. So hey, I know the bots aren't smart enough to catch on to the code, right? So if I get any bot comments on this, come on, you bots ain't as smart as you think you are, because anybody with eyes can see what I'm putting down right here. And Roy Black's got the same birthday. Look at that right there. So do you like that? So that James Jordan connection was on the fly. That Marcus Jordan connection was on the fly. And remember, I'm doing this for fun. This is a hobby, and to get this code out there and expose it and try to do my part, even though I'm shadow banned like a mother, right? This guy was a Miami defense attorney. Remember, Dog the Bounty Hunter's grandson died in Florida. I got to start thinking of other words to say. Don't forget, this guy was affiliated with the Bieber case, and Bieber just had an album drop. The Bieber case involved allegations of driving a Lamborghini under the influence and drag racing. Even Michael Jordan owns like a racing team or whatever. Though the pop star eventually pleaded guilty to lesser charges. Okay, they're saying this lawyer worked harder than any lawyer, right? Again, they're calling him the GOAT here. Look at that connection. And this even connects with this last breakdown I dropped. 45-year-old Venus Williams becomes the oldest woman since Martina Navratilova to win a singles match. Williams, like Rich Hill, Hill like Will. Also trending, becoming the oldest player in the majors at 45 with the start against the Cubs. Cubs, like Chicago Bulls, like MJ. Look at that 45 again. See how they're both 45? Even this singles match, and then you can hit a single in baseball. Come on, man. Check that decode out. That was undeniable, as well as I combine those two trending stories. You know what I'm saying? So notice how Roy Black, again, I said he had the Michael Jordan birthday. Don't forget he's connected to Epstein. His death anniversary is right around the corner. Look at those numbers. 217 with the birthday. Died 721. The same numbers, just mixed up. July 21st. See that right there? 217721. And Roy Black equals 48 in the language. And that last birthday of his was the 48th day of the year. Now, this is amazing because look, William Kennedy Smith, they say he represented. Remember Venus Williams trending with that story. You see that? Fake world. Venus Williams, the 45 connection. Now you get William Kennedy Smith in the R word trial. Look at William Kennedy Smith's birthday. He's got that Beyonce birthday. And it is the fourth day and the ninth month. 49. So you get those 48s, and then you get one number higher with William Kennedy Smith's birthday with that 49 right there. And then, yeah, that's just how it's gonna be, right? So I do want to show you the Epstein death date anniversary. And I shouldn't have to go out of my way to try to come up with other words. You know what I mean? Like, how come the news can talk about it? Look, that death date anniversary is right around the corner. They say this guy was connected with Epstein as well. But look, right around the corner. And Justin Bieber just had an album release. They say this guy represented Bieber. And I covered this story as well. Look, July 11th, swag. Now, let me just ask here, did Roy Black represent Epstein? See that? Specifically during his 2008 sex crimes case in Florida. You see that? Right? Fake world, man. So, you like those Michael Jordan 45 connections on the fly there?
Well, the South Florida legal community is mourning the loss of a legendary defense attorney.
Roy Black was a nationally recognized criminal and civil defense attorney. He handled some of the most high-profile cases in the country, often getting his clients cleared of very serious charges.
Black died at the age of 80 at his home in Coral Gables. CBS News' Miami's Elliot Rodriguez takes a look back at his very stellar legal career.
Very few lawyers know how to work a courtroom the way Roy Black did. Whether it was in front of a judge or a jury, Black was a masterful advocate for his clients, both in criminal and civil cases. Ed Shohat is a Miami defense lawyer who handled many cases with Roy Black.
Well, Roy had some unique qualities as a trial lawyer that are hard to duplicate.
Shohat said Black was a quick study, remembering the smallest details about complex cases. He said Black could address a jury like few attorneys can, coming off intelligent, even professorial, while at the same time staying down to earth and approachable, even likable.
He was at once down to earth, and at the same time, he came across as someone who was trying to teach the jury the case, not simply try the case, representing for the client, to get information to jurors.
In 1991, Black represented William Kennedy Smith, a Kennedy cousin found not guilty of rape charges. It was during that trial that Black met his future wife, Leah, who was a member of the jury. Other high-profile cases include the William Lozano police shooting that led to riots in Overtown, the tax evasion trial of race car driver Elio Castroneves, accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein's case, and a DUI case against singer Justin Bieber. While Black didn't win all his cases, he never lost his cool.
But he never raised his voice in a courtroom. He was very even.
I think that's enough of that video. So, dude kind of gives me Bill Gates vibes. There's also another Roy Black on the world stage. I didn't really catch anything. Look at this German singer and actor over here, which I don't really notice any. Well, look at, ooh, he died at 48. This other guy, look at this. The other Roy Black died at 48. And this Roy Black's birthday is the 48th day of the year. And remember, Roy Black equals 48. Look at that. And check this out. When was that case with the William Kennedy Smith? Was that 91 or 99? It was 91, and this Roy Black died in 91. Look at this right here, man. You get that 48 connection with the other Roy Black. This other Roy Black. This is a fake ass world. And dude died in 91. And that was the same year of this trial. Let me zoom in. And they put that guy in the title. Look. Smith's 1991 trial. Right there. Look at that. Became a watershed criminal defense moment when most of it was carried live on national television, famously with a blue dot obscuring the identity of the accuser on the witness stand. Smith, again, is a nephew of former President John F. Kennedy, former Attorney General and U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and former Senator Edward M. Kennedy, who was implicated but never charged. Man, so all of that stuff probably connects to the Epstein stuff as well. But damn, that 91, and dude connects to this other Roy Black. I thought I didn't have anything. Look at that, man. And our character, our lawyer Roy Black here, again, dead at 80. 80 is like 8 as we're about to enter the 8th month. Remember Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner, 8 seasons of the Cosby Show, 8 seasons of Dog the Bounty Hunter, with those two accidental deaths connected, by the number 8. Malcolm Jamal Warner's birthday upcoming also in the 8th month, and a whole bunch of 8s with that story. Wow, man. So that's how I do my breakdowns. So feel free, bots, feel free to let me know that you don't understand what I'm talking about. Thank you for tuning in, bots, though. Y'all are all right. But y'all need to step your game up. I mean, maybe the bots are just offended because they don't know how to decode. Like, somebody, they need some more AI training, maybe. I mean, but wow, right? So that's just, I did the black RIP for Roy Black there. That's everything I entered. Even Jordan equals 26 and 62. William Kennedy Smith's got the 226. Look, attorney's got 37 and 44. I think those connect to Chicago. Does Jordan have the 37? I can't remember. But there's a 37 connected somewhere with Chicago or Jordan. Defense attorney's got 76 like Michael Jordan. Look, 176 as well. I'm seeing a lot of Trump numbers also. So yeah, pretty wild. Even that dead on the day leaving 163 days. That's the 38th prime number, and I think Florida's got the 38, if I remember correctly. And this guy's out of Florida. Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, he dies 5 months and 4 days after his birthday. Remember, Malcolm Jamal Warner dead at 54 as well. Right? So what do you think, man? Those Jordan connections were heavy on the fly, with, as I speak right now, being the 32nd death anniversary. Wow, time flies. Of James Jordan. And with him dying 4 weeks and 5 days after the third title for his son, when he beat the Suns. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Born in 45, Roy Black, the 45 on MJ's jersey, comes back wearing 45 after all of that. Marcus, David O. Marcus, like Marcus Jordan. Come on, man. Okay. Appreciate being able to do this. I'll take all the bot heat you got for me. Bring it on. There's definitely going to be more connections. You know, look, William Kennedy Smith, that's kind of like Will Smith as well, who I connected in that Venus Williams Rich Hill breakdown. So you get Smith and you get Will again in this story, and you get Black with all the race stuff going on by the language, and you just got to open your eyes and you can see it. Look at all the stories. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. Come on, man. Shout out to y'all. Prominent Miami defense attorney Roy Black dies, represented William Kennedy Smith in the letter R word trial. Until next time, peace.